Stop for a moment and look at your payslip. If you don't have it, think about your most recent payslip. Ang laki ng gross pay, no? Pero tignan mo yung bawas. May tax, contributions, yung iba national insurance. Iba't ibang kaltas, pagod na pagod ka, pero bago makarating sa'yo yung pera, kinain na ng system. So yung sinasabi nilang pay yourself first, hindi totoo yun. It's pay the taxman first. Kaya marami sa atin, especially OFWs, kahit 10, 15 years, minsan 20 years abroad, parang hirap pa rin makawala. Kahit anong sipag natin sa trabaho, minsan naisip mo parang may mali talaga kung paano gumalaw ang pera mo. This is the cycle of a peso or a dollar. Kapag pumasok ang sweldo, may tax agad. Pag ginastos mo, you buy food, gasolina, may VAT na naman. Pag nag-invest ka, tapos withdraw mo, may withholding tax. Minsan, capital gains tax pa. And when you die, and I know it's quite brutal, but we all get there. When you pass on your assets to your children or grandchildren, you pay inheritance tax. So, parang kahit anong galaw ng pera mo, laging may bawas. So in this video, I will tell you a system kung paano natin may iwasan ang ibang tax. Most OFWs work abroad want an exit plan. Ayaw nating magtrabaho abroad habang buhay. Pero ang karaniwang OFW formula, simple lang. Go abroad, work hard, support family, buy a big house, buy a nice car, success story, di ba? At first glance, mukhang tama. Pero napansin mo ba, yung mga mayayaman, lalo silang yumayaman. Kung ikaw bibili ka ng bahay, gusto mo sana cash para wala ng utang. Pero bakit yung mga mayayaman, baliktad ang ginagawa nila? The rich are rich because they don't follow the same rules that we follow. When the rich people buy property, they don't pay it in cash. They borrow until they die. Buy, borrow, die. Pag unang rinig mo, parang mali, parang brutal at delikado. Parang utang habang buhay. Pero hindi utang para sa luho ha. Hindi ito survival debt. This strategy only works if the asset pays for the loan. Buy, borrow, die means you buy assets, you don't sell them, then assets grow, then you borrow against them to buy more assets, and repeat. This is not theory. Ito ang sistema ng mga bangko, mga big developers and corporations, and even wealthy families. Uy, may chika ako. May kilala akong OFW, 15 years nagtrabaho abroad, masipag, malaki ang sweldo, nakagawa ng malaking bahay sa probinsya, nakabili ng kotse, napagtapos ang kapatid. Success story, di ba? But after a few years, bumalik ulit siya abroad. Bakit? Kasi maganda ang bahay, pero walang cash flow. As a homeowner myself, alam ko yan. Ang bahay na tinitirhan natin, may ownership ka, pero liability siya. Let's face it, may maintenance, may tax, may mortgage pa. Pero pag ang property, pinaparent mo, you have ownership as well, pero that is considered an asset. You see, ang mga mayayamang OFWs naiintindihan ito. Hindi sila basta bumibili para sa luho. Bumibili sila ng assets na nagbabayad sa kanila buwan-buwan. Imagine meron kang 4 na empleyado. Employee 1, ikaw. May sweldo. Employee 2, rental property. Employee 3, may REIT dividends. Employee 4, may ETF portfolio. So kung isa lang ang empleyado mo, mahirap yumaman. Mahirap umahon sa buhay. Pero kung 4 ang nagtatrabaho para sa iyo, kahit tulog ka, may pumapasok na pera. You see, hard work has a ceiling. Pero ownership of assets don't have a ceiling. That's why buy, borrow, die works. Let me explain this using what I call the OFW exit plan pyramid. Paano gagawin ng ordinary OFW ang buy, borrow, die strategy? Here's what I do. Level 1 is stability fund. 3 to 6 months emergency fund. Hindi ito exciting pero critical. Ito ang nagbibigay ng confidence sa'yo para makapag-invest ka. Kasi alam mo na, whatever happens, you have assured yourself that you are protected for 3 to 6 months. And then I move on to level 2, ETFs or index funds investing. And I do a monthly investing. Pay yourself first ang strategy ko sa level 2. Long-term mindset, consistent, hindi ko ginagalaw. Ito ang capital ko later, and this capital will help me move to level 3. Level 3 is buy my first rental property, not house for myself. So if the property is worth 8 million, down payment is 20%, 1.6 million, 6.4 million is loan. You can rent it out, say 25,000 per month, but your mortgage is 30,000 kahit may konting top up. Habang ikaw nagtatrabaho, tenant ang nagbabayad ng majority of the loan. But if the property can pay for itself, the better. Ito ang tinatawag nilang leverage. Nakikinabang ka ngayon sa utang sa bangko. At this stage, I own 8 million worth of assets. Kahit 1.6 million lang ang cash outlay ko. Now, level 4, your passive income sources. So with level 4, I will continue to invest and put some money to other assets like REIT and MP2. Both assets give me dividend income. So at this point, you have rental income from property 1, you will have MP2 and REIT dividends, and my ETF portfolio from level 2 continues to grow. Hindi na lang sweldo ang source ng income. And if I am consistent at tuloy-tuloy ang investing, fast forward to age 45, I would have accumulated total assets of 25 million, less my remaining loan of 5 million. So my net worth is therefore 20 million. I can now see and I can assure myself that that exit plan is within reach. At this point, hindi ka na lang empleyado. You have options. Instead na mag-ipon ka ulit from 0, you move to level 5. The buy, borrow, die strategy. At this stage, your property increased in value. Let's say from 8 million, your property is now 14 million. Your ETF portfolio grew. Your REIT and MP2 portfolio is also producing dividend income. And now you can go to the bank and say, hey, Mr. Bank, I have a total assets of 25 million. Can I borrow against my assets? And the bank will say yes without a beat. The bank doesn't just lend you money based on your salary. The bank lends you money based on the assets and your income combined. So instead of saving from 0 again for another property, you can use your existing assets to buy more assets. So the strategy becomes down payment by property, tenant pays loan, property appreciates, refinance, buy again. And you don't pay taxes from loan kasi wala ka namang binenta. Just appreciation and property from 8 million to 14 million will allow you to buy another property. So this is how 1 becomes 2 and 2 becomes 3. This is buy, borrow, die applied in real life. This is where everything becomes a cycle or a wealth loop. You see, most people spend their entire life paying for just one house. But the wealthy spend their life building assets that pay for life. Magkaiba yun. One day, mapapagod ka rin. Gugustuhin mong tumigil and you need an exit plan abroad. Buy, borrow, die is an OFW exit plan. But before you get excited, let's do a reality check. Hindi lahat ng property ay magandang investment. May magandang tignan, pero pangit sa numbers. So, set your excitement aside when buying a property. The real return in property comes from 3 things: rental income, property appreciation, and loan, and all maintenance are covered by your tenant. So we can all agree that property investment is not emotion, it's math. Kung hindi pasado sa numbers, huwag kang mag-invest. If you want to analyze properties properly, comment exit plan below. I'll send you my property ROI calculator. So you compute first, then decide. And please don't forget to hit the follow button so you won't miss the best episodes coming your way. Kita-kits sa next video.